we're ready.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Show and Tell Show. We are here on Zoom, and thanks to Zoom, we can all get together even in the midst of a pandemic, or what's coming to the end of a pandemic. We all hope, everybody cross your fingers and hope it's over. We've got Nicole over at Penetanguishene Centennial Museum, and Jan, and of course there's me, Nahani, and
Hi.
Genevieve Carter from Huronia Museum. And last week, Penetanguishene Centennial Museum, you threw out the Olympics challenge, so let's see what you got.
Let's see what we've got. Okay, so this is what we've got. We have, we considered a few people, but we have chosen a woman, and we have chosen this lady here. However, in this picture, she's only 15 years old, and this is 15-year-old Jean Thompson of Penetanguishene, and she was apparently quite a shy girl, but spunky, and maybe her way to stand out was to be an athlete. And it was one of her teachers that first noticed her great running ability and became her coach. And their method of training was really rather basic. What they would do is have Jean running up and down the length of Church Street while her coach drove alongside her in his car, shouting out the window to keep her going. So go, Jean, go. And at that time, this is in 1928, I think I forgot to mention that, the 800-meter event was considered too long for women. It would be too strenuous for women. But Jean was determined, and so she tackled it and soon set 3 world records during the summer of 1928. Wow. And of course was considered by the town and by other people to be a favorite heading into the Amsterdam Olympics. So in June of 1928, the town, including the mayor, Ego, they all honored Jean and her coach at our Memorial Park with gifts and well wishes for her success in Amsterdam. But unfortunately, a week prior to the Olympics, Jean suffered a hamstring injury while training. But being a determined woman, as we are, that didn't keep her down. She simply bandaged her leg and kept going. So I guess she wrapped it similar to what we would use a tensor bandage today. And she actually managed to win the first heat, which she won against an American and won the 800 meter. Next day, she started out well, but soon dropped to 4th place. But it was her fellow teammate who caught up with her and spurred her on to finish the race, which she did. And despite finishing 4th, she still broke her own world record. So she was quite the athlete. Additional events she competed in were shot put, discus, long jump, and javelin throw. So later in life, she worked at a brokerage firm, married a Bell Telephone district manager, and lived to the age of 65. And in 1987, she was posthumously inducted into the Penetanguishene Sports Hall of Fame, which you can visit at the Penetanguishene Community Arena. And here we have her, this is her medal.
Oh, very nice.
Gold medal for the 800 meters. And wow. On the back, it was in Halifax, the Summer Games, I guess. On the back, it's inscribed, oh, I'm so bad at this, with the 800 meters, and it says first place.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Wow. So good for Jean. And her great nephews are brothers and Olympic champions, Russ and Glenn Howard.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's one last look at good old Jean. Yeah.
You know, and I just had this thing in my head when you were talking about how they had the awards ceremony honoring her and her coach and the hard work. And I could just imagine that taking place like at the waterfront or something. I just, in my head, and the coach showing up in his car, like a drive-through awards, because that's what he did. He drove beside Jean and said, "Yay, go Jean."
Yeah, he drove beside her. And yeah, I don't even know. I mean, 1928 Church Street was probably just a dirt road, and she just ran up and down there to train.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But he didn't run alongside of her, no.
No. I've got all kinds of images in my head of how that coaching went. Anyway.
Yes.
Oh, Genevieve, what do we have for Olympic?
All right, I brought this in. This is a poster. It's a cartoon poster that was made by a cartoonist who worked for the Toronto Telegram. His name was Harry Hall. And he gave this poster to the fella in the center, and his name is Lefty Gwynn. He was a Canadian boxer, a bantamweight boxer. He actually didn't get his start in boxing. He started out, he was a very small young fella. He was, I think when he finished elementary school, he was 65 pounds, about 5'1½". So his father sent him out to be a jockey.
Oh.
So he was doing, I guess, well at that. He was training hard, but his father felt that he was gaining a little weight. So he sent him to a gym in Toronto where he started to lose weight, I guess, and gain muscle mass. He started boxing, and they found that he had a natural talent as a boxer. So eventually he won a spot on the Canadian boxing team as a bantamweight for the 1932 Olympics, which were held in Los Angeles. And at that time, he was 19 years old. He had 2 fights, I guess, with an Italian and then a Filipino, won both, no problem. And then he went up against a German who was the reigning world or gold medal champion. And he beat the daylights out of him, apparently. Won the gold medal and came home, and he continued boxing until about 1939 when he became a jockey's agent. And continued with that till 1953, and then got a job in the recreation department in the city of Toronto. And when he graduated in 1975, that's when he became associated with this area. He moved up to Wabashine, and I don't know if anyone will remember a hotel on Hugo Avenue, right across the road from the old YMCA. There was a hotel called the Midtown Hotel. And Lefty actually, rather than enjoying his retirement in Wabashine, he started to work there as, I guess, a night manager. And that hotel was owned by his friend Wally Boyer, who was a former NHL hockey player. So Lefty Gwynn, here he is. And actually, he really, I guess, had enjoyed his work in the recreation department in Toronto, and he used to visit the kids at the school in Featherton when there was a Featherton, and he used to bring along his medal to show the kids, and he started a boxing club for kids. It wasn't very successful. Not a lot of kids, which he was really disappointed at, seemed to be interested in boxing in the 1970s, but yeah, there's Lefty Gwynn. His real name was Horace, by the way. He wasn't born with the name Lefty. He was just a southpaw. So yeah, so that's how he became
Southpaw.
And I think if you're an athlete, you really do need a good name like that, like Buzz or Chip or something.
Yeah.
You can't be called Horace.
Yeah.
Horace Gwynn, the boxer, just doesn't sound good.
Yeah. I find it interesting. We both chose teenagers. Ours was 15, yours was 19. Ours was the 1928 Olympics, and yours was the 1932. So it was so close.
Yeah.
And they're both Summer Olympics, because I know we do probably have a lot of Olympians from the Winter Olympics from our areas. But it's neat that we went with Summer Olympics. I was going to say before that the Penetanguishene Sports Hall of Fame is a fantastic Hall of Fame to go in. It's really a museum. And they actually used to have it here at the museum on our second floor, and then they moved it to their own space, and they do collect a lot of artifacts. And they did have that medal for Gene Thompson. We loaned it to them for a bit so they could have it there, and we just have it back now. And they are closed, but hopefully they will be able to open up soon because of COVID. But I'm sure most communities have really fantastic sports Hall of Fames that are almost like little museums themselves.
Yeah, yeah. The Penetanguishene Sports Hall of Fame is awesome. It's so well done, and they've done a really good job. Yeah, they've done a really good job. Okay, so we have a challenge for next week. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You're always so nervous when I say that.
Look on your face scares me. Yeah.
It's not hard. It's not a difficult one. I really don't think it's a difficult one. But the thing is, we have so many crafters and in Simcoe County. You know, we have so many, like, you know, rug hookers and quilters and sewers and knitters and crocheters and everything. And I don't know about your museum. I'm sure your museum is the same as ours. We have a number of their tools donated to us, and some of them are really neat. So we thought it'd be cool to show off some of those, you know, craft guild, crafty people tools that we've had donated to us over the years. I'm sure you have something just as neat like we do, because we've seen gadgets come in here. I say gadgets, and you know how I love a good gadget, Jan. You know, like, it's like, what is that? They're just so neat. And, you know, you wonder why they're not still used today, or how they got changed so that they're used more often today or in a different form. So yeah, let's dig out our crafty tools. We thought that'd be a neat challenge for us.
All right.
Okay. All righty. So we'll see everybody next week on the Show and Tell show. Same time, same channel. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And